This is Deoxys Origin Form. Within the confines of the National Dex game mode on Pokemon Showdown, he can actually be a extremely viable pick depending on the team you bring him with. To get the breakdown started, we need to define what Deoxys' goal is. Deoxys is set up as a sweeper, running Expanding Force as his primarily force of damage. However, we could encounter a Pokemon of the Dark type who can bypass Expanding Force by being immune to Psychic type attacks. So bringing Focus Blast for a chance to nearly one-shot them was my way of getting past that. To pair with that, we'd have Indeedee with Psychic Surge. To help take advantage of this, we'd have a Mega Gardevoir as well, and Baxcalibur, Whimsicott, and King Gambit to run as support Pokemon in different situations, such as Trick Room or setting Tailwind. When starting a game, it's important to look at what team your opponent is running, so that way you can pick which leads you want to go with. If you believe you'll have struggle getting through a Trick Room early game, it might be good to bring King Gambit and Whimsicott for early game support. King Gambit is great inside of Trick Room, and he has a high potential to take out a lot of Trick Room setters, since most of them are Psychic type. And if they have multiple Trick Room setters, it's good to try and put as much pressure as you can on early game to get rid of as many of them as possible. However, even in bad situations, you can still find yourself pushing through Trick Room. In this game, we encounter an Archaludon who goes into Trick Room with his pal Sinistcha. Now, this is huge for us because we have to get through each of the turns of Trick Room without setting out our sweepers. Our sweepers are extremely frail and could easily be taken down by this duo. So the goal was to actually wait out Trick Room and prepare to sacrifice Baxcalibur and Whimsicott right as Trick Room goes down. This would allow us to send in both of our sweepers to deal with the threat. In later testing, we'd eventually give Indeedee Trick Room to reverse the effects of Trick Room. However, if you find yourself with an Indeedee down, it is still viable to stall out Trick Room teams and attempt to pick them up right as the round ends. Just like here, where Whimsicott and Baxcalibur go down at the last turn, and we set up Tailwind, meaning no matter what they do, we're going to be able to break through with our both Mega Gardevoir and Deoxys. And as you'll see here with this demonstration, the damage they're able to output is insanely high, being able to take down Archaludon and Incineroar within one turn. And with a lot of their main players down, it's not surprising that we sweep the rest of the game now that we're in a decent position to take out all of their Trick Room setters. Again, the moves from the footage may have changed and the Terra types may have evolved to be better suited for the situations you'll encounter, so feel free to experiment with different Terra types and moves. This video just serves as a blueprint for what you could do with these Pokemon. For the rest of this video, we're going to speed up the footage in the background and just talk about some of the weaknesses that the team suffers from. One of the big problems that the team has right now is Steel-type Pokemon. Steel-type Pokemon can easily wall this team, which is why Focus Blast became even more important when we added it. Deoxys became the main remover of bulky Steel types such as Metagross. Metagross proved to be a huge issue since he's heavily resistant to a lot of our high damage Pokemon. Trick Room is also a problem, which is why we gave Trick Room to Indeedee to allow us to continue pushing through those, but again, stalling them out is just fine. And reminder to play around the rather weak bulk that Deoxys and Gardevoir have. Despite them being very powerful, they aren't very tanky, so making sure to have Tailwind and speed control is very important using Baxcalibur and Whimsicott. Otherwise, they simply get outsped and destroyed with no chance to actually put in some work. If you love all things Deoxys, please follow the Deoxys agenda, and I hope to see you in the next one.